By Melissa. You have learned that a basic noun can be a person, place, or thing. You have also learned that concrete nouns are nouns you can see, hear, smell, touch, or taste, but maybe not all at once. So what are proper nouns? More importantly, how can using proper nouns help me become a better writer? Let's get started. Basically, proper nouns are also people, places, and things, but they are more specific. Proper nouns are always capitalized because they are the names of people, places, and things. For example, using basic common nouns, this person is a girl, this place is a fair, and this thing is a roller coaster. If I were using basic common nouns, my sentence would read, the girl went to the fair and rode the roller coaster. Of course, my basic common nouns are girl, fair, and roller coaster. Let me show you how proper nouns can make my writing more specific. I want to rewrite this sentence replacing all of my nouns with proper nouns. Instead of girl, I will put Tiffany. Instead of fair, I'll put the name of the fair, Florida Fair. And instead of roller coaster, I'll put the name of the roller coaster, Mighty Mountain. My sentence now reads, Tiffany went to Florida Fair and rode Mighty Mountain. I get a specific picture in my head of Tiffany going to Florida Fair and riding Mighty Mountain. Woohoo! The picture in my head is much more vivid than the girl went to the fair and rode the roller coaster. Let's look at another example of how using proper nouns when you write clarifies the picture in your reader's head. The kids went to a restaurant before seeing a movie. My basic common nouns are kids, restaurant, and movie. So how can I use proper nouns to make this sentence more specific? Well, instead of kids, I want to know which kids. Ed and Ty. Instead of restaurant, I want to specifically name my restaurant, Taco Heaven. And instead of movie, they specifically saw Star Wars. So my new sentence reads, Ed and Ty went to Taco Heaven before seeing Star Wars. I get a specific picture in my head of Ed and Ty going to Taco Heaven and then going to see Star Wars. Creating a more vivid picture for my reader makes me a better writer. So now that you know how proper nouns affect your writing, you'll need to become familiar with all the different types of proper nouns you can use. And be sure to begin each of them with a capital letter. You'll want to capitalize the names of cities, states, countries, months, people, stores, restaurants, schools, books, movies, holidays, brands, places, and many, many more. Remember, proper nouns are more specific. They plant a more vivid picture in your reader's head by giving specific names and titles for people, places, and things. Hooray! You've earned an A+ on proper nouns. Thank you for joining me at Grammar Songs by Melissa.
Sadie? Okay, so in that video, I really like that video. It was the only problem is it was a little fast. I wish there was a way I could slow it down without having to completely remake it. So in that video, we talked about common and proper nouns again. But we talked about how proper nouns not only name a specific place or a specific person or day or holiday or whatever, but they also make your writing more interesting. So as you're writing, if you're able to, try to replace as many common nouns as you can with proper nouns. So when you're writing your reading logs, and if the characters went to a restaurant, don't just say, the characters went to a restaurant. Say, Nikki and Brandon, because I'm thinking of Dork Diaries, went to Chili's. Crazy Burger. Nikki and Brandon went to Crazy Burger and ate sushi. And I'm just making up sushi, because Crazy Burger probably wouldn't have sushi. But it makes your handwriting your writing a lot more interesting. Instead of the kids went to the restaurant and ate. Oh, that's kind of boring. Well, Nikki and Brandon went to Crazy Burger and ate hamburgers or whatever they ate. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be replacing common nouns with proper nouns. First of all, so that we can see the difference. But second of all, so that we can see how it makes our writing a lot more interesting. So, just as a review, the title of today's notes is Proper Nouns. And then today's date, which is September 23rd, 2020. I forgot to change it on the board, but that's okay. So today's notes are titled Proper Nouns, P-R-O-P-E-R space N-O-U-N-S, September 23rd, 2020. And first we're just going to do a review before we get into the guided and independent practice. So, first, do your dot on the pink line. And then we've got the sentence, proper nouns give the specific, so the exact names given. That means somebody gave them that name. Somebody gave Michaela the name Michaela. Somebody gave the restaurant Chili's the name Chili's. Somebody gave the important game, the World Series, the name World Series. So proper nouns give the specific names given, I used given twice, but okay, to people, places, and things. Then we're going to go right underneath it. You don't need to skip a line because this is included in these notes. It's together. They're both information about the same things. It's a dot, so a dot on or right next to the pink line. Proper nouns are always, and then underline always, capitalized. These are sentences, so we should be capitalizing the first letter and putting a period at the end. Proper nouns are always capitalized. Now I'm going to go over a little bit. I'm going to indent, and I'm going to do a little dash instead of a dot. This is called a bullet point. This is just, I don't know, it probably has some specific name like bullet point, but we're just going to call it a little dash. What? No, because this goes with proper nouns are always capitalized. Because the way we write notes is that this isn't really a brand new note. It fits with proper nouns being capitalized, and you'll see why in just a second. So we don't want to skip a line because we want to know these go together. This is just a new thing to remember. Some proper nouns have more than one word. And then I am skipping a line mostly only because I'm going to the next line only because I'm kind of out of space over there, not because you need to go to the next line. If you have more space after one word, you can keep going with this second part of this note. I'm just going to the next line because I want to make sure that I have a good amount of space for the video. Some proper nouns have more than one word. Each important word must be capitalized. For example, Whole Foods. Both of those words are important. The name of the grocery store, Whole Foods. Statue of Liberty. Statue and liberty are capitalized, but of is not really an important word, so it's not. And then one more. That was actually in your independent practice the other day. I haven't checked it though. If you have a proper noun, Victoria, hold on. Is it because you can't read how to spell something? Okay, then hold that thought. If you have a proper noun, the name of something that has a dash in it, then the word before the dash and the word after the dash are capitalized. Like the store, which really barely exists anymore, so we won't have to teach about it soon, RIP. But like the store, Kmart. There's a dash, so what comes before the the dash and what comes after the dash, the first letter must be capitalized. Sometimes you may also see Walmart spelled with a dash because that's how it was originally spelled. It's kind of gone to no dash, but it was spelled, you would have written it like this. Capital W-A-L dash, capital M-A-R-T. But Walmart, they took out the dash at some point. But it used to have a dash, and that's how you would spell it. But now that there is no dash, you would just spell capital W-A-L-M-A-R-T.
Do you know why they did that?
I do not know. Probably just the logo looked better. Oh, that's one thing I thought about for like half a week was advertising, going into advertising. Yes, Victoria, what's your question or comment?
I think maybe the new owner probably wanted to take the dash out and see how it looked, and then he or she probably liked it better than the old.
Yeah, somewhere along the line, somebody liked the way it looked better without the dash.
Also, my other question was, what about Midtown Donuts?
What?
What about Midtown Donuts? That's a real
Midtown Donuts, that's the name of a store, but, I mean a donut shop. So, but Midtown is one word, so only the M is capitalized, and then donuts, the D, would be capitalized. I know we could think of proper nouns all day long, but let's move on because in the guided practice we get to do that, and then in the independent practice you get to do that. So, remember, proper nouns give the specific names that were given to people, places, and things. So somebody came to this town and named it. Somebody came to this country and named it. Somebody had this baby and named it. Somebody purchased or adopted this pet and named it. Somebody created this grocery store and named it. Somebody created this brand and named it. Proper nouns are always capitalized. Some proper nouns have more than one word. Each important word must be capitalized, like the W and the F in Whole Foods, the S and the L in Statue of Liberty. Of is not so important, so we don't need to capitalize of. The K and the M in Kmart, and the W and M in Walmart, and then the M and the D in Midtown Donuts. Okay, now you know that list that we had that they put on the board of all the different things that the specific names are proper nouns. We're going to write it so that you always have these notes to come back to and say, wait, this is a holiday. That means it's proper. That means I have to write it down. This is a tool for you to use so that you don't lose points for not capitalizing proper nouns. So, can I erase what's on the board? Yes, Michaela?
Just so we write the example.
Okay. Can I erase everything except for the example? Okay.
Yes, you can.
Because we're going to make our list.
Oh,
If you get finished, let me know and I'll go ahead and erase it. Okay. So, how do I want to put it?
I'm done.
Okay, cool. So now you can skip a line. And we're going to put a dot on the pink line or next to the pink line. I usually tend to put my dots before the pink line and then my word starts after. But if you start on the pink line or start right next to it, that's okay. That's just how I do it. As long as your dot is somewhere right where the pink line is, and then the word comes right after that dot. Nouns that are proper.
Do we have to underline it?
It'll help you to know that everything that comes after that are nouns that are proper. And we're going to say names of, names is one word. I don't know why I put that extra space between E and S. There's not supposed to be a space there. So names of, because these words that I'm writing are not the proper nouns. But the names of these things are the proper nouns. So first, so notice how I've got kind of like a little slant. Or I've got my dot, my bullet point on the pink line. My dash is indented a little, and then my new dot is indented a little more. Names of cities. Do not capitalize cities because cities is not the proper noun. Give me an example of a city, Victoria. Memphis. So we capitalize the M in Memphis. Good. Next, states. Do not capitalize states because states is just the common noun. Ethan, give me an example of a state. That's not a state. We'll come back to you for that. Zadie, give me the name of a state.
Tennessee.
Tennessee. So the T in Tennessee would be capitalized. Next, the names of countries. Countries is not capitalized. So just notice, in this list, what we have first is the common noun. What comes next is an example of a proper noun that fits that. There's lots of things we could put for cities, lots of things we could put for states, lots of things we could put for countries, but Ethan, give me an example of a country. You just told me. And Antarctica. Antarctica is also a continent, which are also proper nouns. The names of continents are proper nouns. Antarctica. Make sure you're spelling these correctly. So just remember, this column is common. If we get to the bottom and we have space, we'll label that. This column is common. This column is the proper example. So next, months. Give me an example. Kingston. November. Months is not capitalized because it is common. November is capitalized because it is not common. Cullen. Next, we have the names of stores. Stores is not capitalized because it's common. So give me an example of a store.
Target.
Target. The T in Target is capitalized. Zari, next we know people. We know anybody's name is capitalized. But let's put
Jesus.
that would be an example. What else was on that list? I'm trying to remember. Stores.
Restaurants.
Restaurants. No, wait, okay. There's an extra U in restaurants that you wouldn't think is there, and I always forget. Does it go after this A or this A? But it goes after that A. Restaurant. Zari, give me the name of the proper noun for a restaurant.
Olympic pizzas.
Olympic pizza. Ooh, that has two words. So what does that mean, Zari? What does that mean, Zari? It has 2 words in it. Is only one capitalized?
No, both of them are capitalized.
So the O in Olympic and the P in pizza. Okay, holidays. Holidays is common, so it's lowercase. Smith, give me an example of a holiday.
Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day, that has 2 words, so what does that mean?
Both words are capitalized.
Good. The V in Valentine's and the D in day. And there is an extra apostrophe in Valentine's, which we'll learn about later. Next one. We know the names of schools. Well, let's put schools. 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 Schools is the common noun, so it starts with a lowercase s. Zadie, give me an example of a proper noun that goes with schools.
St. Mary's.
St. Mary's. Okay, that's 2 words. So what does that mean?
The first letter in each word is capitalized.
Good. So we have capital S in Saint, capital M in Mary's. I wish you'd said IC, but at least I didn't have to write so much. Good. Okay, this one's tough. Brands. What do they mean by brands? Brands is common, so it's lowercase. What do they mean by brands? Remember the example. What example did they use? Do you remember in the video? I was going a little too fast. It was a great video. It was just fast. Well, okay, I'll give you an example. Nike. Nike is proper, so it has a capital N because a brand is like who makes something. So on your independent practice the other day, you had Toyota.
Yeah.
That is a brand of car. So the T in Toyota would be capitalized. What else? Yeah. So the brand, who makes an object, that's a brand. They would be capitalized because somebody created that brand and then they named it. So it's a specific name. So now we know this is a list of common nouns and the proper nouns that we can replace them with. Yes, Cullen.
On the last 3, you put dots instead of lines.
Did I? Yeah,
Yeah.
I do that. I forget. Because anytime I have a bullet point and I need something, I'll usually do a dash. But if I have a dash, I'll do, it's just a thing so that my notes look very neat. But then sometimes I flip them, messes that all up. Okay. Everybody feel good about it? Ready for the guided practice? We're just going to do more of this.
Yay!
And then the independent practice, you're going to do more of this, but with sentences. Yes.
Hey,
Okay.
we actually did yes.
Okay. Quickly write, because I need to erase in just a second, so I'll give you a second to finish writing those. So anytime we have a sheet and there's a box at the top with information, should we just ignore it, Michaela?
No.
What should we do first?
Read.
Read it. So let's look at the box at the top. It'll have important information. Even if you're like, I already know that. Does it hurt to read it one more time?
No.
No, not at all. So let's look at the box. Sadie, where's your hand up? Okay. Common and proper nouns. Common nouns name a person, place, or thing. They do not begin with a capital letter. Proper nouns name a specific person, place, or thing. They always begin with a capital letter. So remember, it's the specific name that some person gave to a person, an animal, and when I say an animal, I don't mean dog. Dog would be common. I mean some person came in and said, oh, this dog's name is Prim. Or in that movie, Friday, which was also a day of the week. That's what I mean by that. You've got it, the most specific. Like there is no other name other than that, and like days of the week. That's common, but each day only has one name that somebody gave to it. Each holiday is common, but that holiday has one name. Okay, that store is common, but that one store, that grocery store is more specific, but that grocery store has one name. That means there might be other names. There's not one proper noun for a person, because we all have different names. There's not one proper noun for an animal, because all the pets have different names. There's not one proper name for dogs, because all the dogs have different names. There's not one proper name for the grocery stores, because all the grocery stores have different names. You've got Kroger, you've got Publix, you've got Walmart, you've got Schnucks. Wait, that doesn't exist anymore. What is it now? I don't think it's anything. You've got Sprouts, you've got Superlow, whatever. What?
Pets.
Whole Foods.
Whole Foods, Sprouts, the Fresh Market. See? So when you're looking at proper nouns, it's the specific name of that one person, that one place, that one thing. So that's why football is common, but the Super Bowl is proper. Because there are lots of football games, but there's only one Super Bowl. Okay?
Got it.
So now, let's go through. They've given us common nouns. The directions say write a proper noun for each common noun. They've given us the common nouns. We have to come up with the proper nouns.
Okay.
So the first one they did for us, a truck. Well, truck is common. But that one type of truck is a Ford. So Ford is proper. Now let's do the same thing. The common noun is restaurant. Do not tell me one we already used. Victoria. Chili's. So what do we do with the first letter of Chili's? Oh, Chick-fil-A. Just kidding. Ooh, that's a good one because it's got dashes. But what should we do with the first letter of each piece that's in front of or behind a dash? Good. So we have Chick, which is uppercase, then a dash, then Phil, which is uppercase, and then A, which is uppercase. That's a good one. I need to remember to use that one every year. Because Kmart's not the best example because we don't really have Kmart's anymore. Walmart's isn't the best example because it doesn't have the dash anymore, but Chick-fil-A has the dash. Yeah. Kmart's, there aren't many anymore. Okay, so Chick-fil-A. So we have 3 separate pieces separated by dashes. The first letter of each piece has a capital letter. Okay, a park. Ooh. Cullen.
Oh, God.
Think of a park. We have like several really big ones. Ethan? Shelby Farms. So Shelby is capitalized. Farms is capitalized. And then park is capitalized. Because even though park is a common noun, if it's a part of the name, then it is proper. Because even though park is common, since the name of the park is Shelby Farms Park, park would be capitalized there, like Overton Park. If you're talking about Overton Park, you're not going to write it like this. It is Overton, that's how you spell it. You wouldn't write it like this because park is part of the name. So you are going to capitalize park. It's like school, St. Mary's School. School is common. But if it's part of the word, of the name, St. Mary's School, then it is capitalized. Or Immaculate Conception Cathedral School. So even though those are common, if they are part of the name, they must be capitalized. Okay, a girl. Smith.
I'm gonna, Becky.
Becky. Okay, so Becky has to be capitalized. full name. So if you gave me her first, middle, and last name, the first letter of each of those names, the first letter of the first name, the first letter of the middle name, and the first letter of the last name would all be capitalized. Teacher. Cullen.
Miss Foles.
Miss Foles. So I have two pieces to my name. I have MS, which is the capital, the M is capital. That's also an abbreviation, which we'll learn about in a few weeks. So it has a period at the end. Miss, and then my last name, Foles, is also capitalized.
Miss Fellas, we don't even have to look at the board. We have the little thing.
The little thing. What?
Like, you know where her name is?
Uh-huh.
On the video, we can just look at that.
Oh, that's true. That is true. School. Kingston. I can't hear you. St. Patrick's School. So, Saint, capital S. This is an abbreviation, so it is ST. The abbreviation for Saint is ST. The S is capitalized. There's a period after the T. Then Patrick's. The P in Patrick's is capitalized. And then school. The S in school is capitalized. Now, there are some schools that don't have the word school in the name. So, like if I was talking about my high school, St. Agnes Academy, there is no school in the name. So I wouldn't write St. Agnes Academy School. So just because it is a school does not mean that school is part of the name. You only capitalize school and put it in the name if it is part of the name. Okay, a store. Ethan, give me a store.
Walmart.
We kind of already used it. Let's use something we haven't used. What?
He said Whole Foods.
We use Whole Foods too. Something other than Whole Foods, Walmart, Kmart, or Target. AutoZone. Good. AutoZone is actually one word. In this case, in the name of the store. In real life, that would not be one word. But the name of the store is one word. So we have capital A and then AutoZone. So sometimes the name of the store should be two words, but it's not, like AutoZone.
Academy.
Academy Sports. Yes, so Academy and Sports would both be capitalized, even though Academy and Sports are two common nouns. But when you put them together and you're saying the name of the store, then you would capitalize both. A movie. Give me a short name of a movie. Zari.
Elf.
Elf. Good. So the E in elf is capitalized. Normally, elf would be a common noun. It would just be a little creature.
I love that movie.
But since it's the name of the movie, we're going to capitalize the E in elf. A boy. Carla.
Tom.
Tom. So capital T-O-M. That's a capital T, not a lowercase. So make sure you have it as capital. My line going down just goes a teeny bit above. That was an accident. Okay, a dog. Michaela.
Angel.
Angel. So we capitalize the A in angel. Even though angels, when we're talking about angels in heaven, are actually common nouns, since it's the name of the dog, it is proper. Ooh, everybody should be able to get this one.
Mississippi River.
A river. Cullen.
Mississippi. Can I spell it?
Yes, go slow though.
Okay. Mississippi.
Good. And then because it's a river, the word river is included in the name. So what do you think we do with river?
Capitalize.
Capitalize it. Thank you, Cullen. Mississippi River. Since river is part of the official name, we would capitalize the R too. Yes, Kingston, quickly.
How do you spell Mississippi?
M-I-S-S-I-S-S-I-P-P-I.
No.
M-I-S-S-I-P-P-I. Oh, wait, I think I gave you 2 I's. Yep, that's it. Okay, and last one, a cartoon. Regular old cartoon, if you're talking about any of them, well, that's common. But if you're talking about a specific cartoon, it's proper. Michaela.
Paw Patrol.
Paw Patrol. Now, that's 2 words, so what does that mean?
First letter, second capital.
Good. Capital P-A-W, capital P-A-T-R-O-L. Paw Patrol. Very
You kind of
good.
said it like the cartoon, Miss Bolas.
Did I? I've never even seen it.
Paw Patrol. Paw Patrol.
Okay.
Be there on the bubble.
Paw Patrol. Very good. So, the common noun is just a general name. But once you narrow it down to one of those things, that name is the proper noun. And when I say down to one, well, there's lots and lots of Chick-fil-A's, but it's still the same restaurant, just different locations. Same with Ford. There's lots of different cars that are Fords,
Yes.
but they're just versions of that one thing. Also, usually car companies are named after people.
Yeah.
People's names are
Ford.
proper. So that means if they have a car named after that person, well, then that name of that car has to be proper too.
Yep.
So,
I know.
what we're going to do now is I'm going to pass out independent practice. So girls at home, get out your independent practice pages. It is 2 pages. They both say IP. So before we talk about the independent practice, Carla gave a really good example of another cartoon that I want to show you the name of. When we would write Tom and Jerry, we would write it like this. Capital T in Tom, and no capitals. Jerry, capital J. What does that mean? What does this mean? Victoria.
The and is not very important.
And is not an important word. So you don't have to capitalize it. It's like of. Also,
I would go with Statue of Liberty.
capital P in Pete. The, no capitals. Capital C in cat. What does this mean? Zari?
The is not important.
The is not an important word. I have another movie and book name. Capital C in cat. In the, no capitals. Capital H in hat. What does that mean, Zadie?
It means that the words in and the are not important.
Good. Try to think if there's anything else off the top of my head. Colin?
Looney Tunes.
Well, but there's all those words would be capitalized. I'm pointing out. The unimportant words. Yes, Zadie, quickly. Unless the is at the beginning. If the is at the beginning of the book, the movie, whatever, then it is capitalized. It's just if it's anywhere else other than the very first word, it is not capitalized. Yes, quickly.
Another one would be Sam and Cat.
Sam and cat, yes. And would never be capitalized because we would never see it at the beginning of anything. The would only be capitalized if it's the first word of a movie or book title. Same with in, and then of would never be the first letter either. But in and the could be the first word of a book or movie title, or store or something. In those cases it would be, but if it's anywhere other than the beginning, you lowercase it. And would never be at the beginning because that's not grammatically correct. Can we start a sentence or anything else with and? No. Okay, so now let's look at the independent practice. The front. Everybody put your name, number, and date on the front right now before you lose a point for not having name, number, and date. The front says 35 at the bottom. The front has page number 35 at the bottom. It is from the workbook that goes with this textbook. So make sure your name, number, and date is at the front. It should not be on the front of the what says switching common to proper nouns worksheet. It can be in both places, but it cannot only be on the back. It should be on the front. Once you have written your name, number, and date on the front, let's look at it. Oh, we have a box. Should we ignore it?
Nope.
Nope. But I'm going to let you do it on your own. The directions say capitalize the proper nouns found in each sentence. What that means is they have just written everything as a common noun, but there are proper nouns. So use that list that we wrote today and make sure that you're capitalizing the proper nouns. Oh, wait. Add something to that list. Okay. So at the bottom of your list, add this. At the bottom of your list under brands, we're going to add teams. Teams is common, but once we get down to the name of that one team, then we make it proper. Colin?
Germantown.
Well, what's the whole name?
Germantown Red Devils.
Germantown. Red Devils. The G in Germantown is capitalized. Sorry, it's Germantown. The G in Germantown is capitalized. The R in red is capitalized, and the D in devils. So you're looking at every word in the team name, and each one gets capitalized.
That is not a bad word if you're saying it like as a name.
Exactly. Because that is the name of that high school's mascot. So, don't forget that. And you'll see why I made sure to add this note when you get into this sheet. So, on the front, you have to rewrite the sentences. Everybody listen. Do you just write the proper noun on the line?
No.
No. There's a reason they give you 2 lines for some of these, because you have to rewrite the sentence. Make sure you capitalize the proper nouns. What I would do is before I began, I would go ahead and in the sentence that's given to me, I would go ahead and find and circle the words I know have to be proper. So before I even write the sentence, I would go in and read number 1. I like to play baseball with my brother Matt and his friends, and I would circle the noun that should be proper before I even begin. So that when I'm rewriting the sentence, I don't forget that that's what I have to do. So that's what you're going to do on the front. You're going to capitalize the proper nouns found in each sentence. Each sentence has at least 1 proper noun. Remember, if there's more than 1 word in that proper noun, you have to capitalize all of the words. Then on the back, it says switching common to proper nouns worksheet. You have a box, don't ignore it. And then the directions say rewrite each sentence below. Replace each underlined common noun with a proper noun. So what they did is they underlined the common nouns in each of these sentences. You need to replace the underlined words with a proper noun that fits. So the example says he did fantastic on his final exam. And they underlined the common noun he. So they replaced he with a proper noun. That means the same thing. He means a boy. So they used a proper noun for a boy. Instead of he did fantastic on his final exam, they made it more specific and more interesting by saying John did fantastic on his final exam. So that's what you're going to do. For number 2, you'll replace lady with a proper noun. Now sometimes you don't need the anymore. So make sure that you're not including extra words that you don't need anymore. And then you're going to replace grocery store with a proper noun. Again, check to see if you still need the. because you don't always need the, and if you put the when you don't need it, you're going to lose some points. So read the sentence to yourself after you fix it and make sure that it sounds correct. If it sounds like there's a the and you don't need it, erase the. Okay, go ahead. You have, well, a few minutes, and then we'll do social studies. So go ahead and start.
Can we start on whichever side we want?
Yes, you may start on whichever side you want, but please make sure that your name, number, and date are on the front, which is the page with 35 down at the bottom.
I do it on both pages.
Good.